The Hole. Following the Avatar-inspired 3D craze of the late aughts, we got a brief period of natively shot 3D movies. Although they ran the gamut of all budgets, at the time 3D seemed destined to become normal B-movie fare, just as it was in the 50s and 80s. But the dual lens approach proved to be cumbersome and added expensive time to productions. The major players found a solution in pricey, multi-million-dollar 3D conversions, but the low-budget filmmaker just sort of had to let 3D go. This left behind a small family of early adopter, natively shot 3D films made around this 5-year period. I suppose this kind of modern 3D pioneering film deserves its own category of appreciation. I have no idea what it would be called. Perhaps someone out there can coin a clever term for it. Maybe someone already has. Now, for The Hole, this feels very much like classic 50s B-movie stuff. It almost feels like it should be in black and white. Cheap thrills, effects that either are practical or made to look so. But they never steal the show. Like the old movies, it's told through its script rather than its budget. It has some genuinely spooky moments, especially in the first half. You may regret putting this on after dark. There's nothing quite like a face in the reflection. It's better through a window rather than a mirror, as the window has this natural, ghostly, translucent quality, although there's no better place in a 3D movie to visit than to the washroom, where every mirror becomes a portal to another world. Check out this moment of a rattling door handle holding back something in the basement. What could it be? The camera zooms right in on it and gives us a wonderfully exaggerated view of this handle. Hokey? Sure, but it's also classic 3D fun. Similar to Poltergeist, we get a menacing clown doll. And like the door handle, look how they pull right into the face. The background is obscured and dark, so it allowed them to give us this nice extreme stereo view of the face, which is terrifying. We get several coming right at you moments, but although they are obvious, they seem to be saved by style. Much like the bottomless hole, the director takes us right to the edge, facing precariously down at an abyss of schlocky 3D ham. But somehow, we don't actually fall in. The stereo hijinks seem to always feel appropriate. The atmosphere never broken. And atmosphere is what holds this movie together. Take a look at this room, which looks like it was built for the sole purpose of being seen in stereo. 3D loves junk, as I've said so many times before. And here, it just feels like this has answers, the room of answers, where the alchemy goes to nest, all in a beautiful golden glow. Now, it's sort of this time in the movie that you actually have to shut your brain off and let the atmosphere do the talking. There are some serious leaps of logic that might pull you out of its spell. However, the idea of dark memories lurking in the basement are fairly universal. Many an interpretive book will suggest that dreaming of a scary basement or cellar is really a dream about yourself concealing something terrible, like overspending on 3D Blu-rays. Incidentally, I've heard that the dreams we have just before we wake up are often the worst because the mind uses those last sleeping moments to expel unwanted thoughts and feelings. And speaking of dark thoughts, there is a great scene that was reminiscent of an old Nightmare on Elm Street dream sequence. We get this room, this build in false and exaggerated perspective. And it's trippy to see in 3D. At times, the art direction gives the illusion of hyper stereo, and at other times, it creates the illusion of nearly no stereo, going against what our eyes are seeing. Now, this doesn't hurt the eyes, but you might be kind of amused at some of the decisions your eyes make. Now, this is a fun movie. A great example of what it means for a movie to be authored in 3D, and it deserves to be remembered, if you dare.